We don't have a song prepared because this is the last second thing.
Actually, I do. Oh, I just can't wait to be king. And if I knew a song from Camelot, I would have gone with that, but still. Okay, so, welcome to StillerBros at the movies. I know we promised Lego movie next, but look, I've had a shit day. I want to go see a movie, so we're going to a movie. We're going to go to a nice little light one. Welcome to The Kid Who Would Be King.
And we know almost nothing about Joe Cornish's work, for the most part.
Except he's that one guy who works with Edgar Wright that's nuts, Simon Pegg or Nick Frost.
Yeah, he is a writer. He co-wrote Scott Pilgrim vs. the World and Ant-Man with Edgar Wright. And Edgar Wright executive produced his first movie, Attack the Block, which had John Boyega in it.
Look, all we know about Joe Cornish basically is that he is apparently a TV comedian from England, who his first movie, Attack the Block, was a well-regarded at the time movie that became a cult classic because it wasn't popular at the time. Now it's a cult classic mostly because it had John Boyega, who everyone knows is now in the new Star Wars movies, and Jodie Whittaker, the current Doctor Who, in it.
Yeah.
So all we're saying is that Joe Cornish seems to have a talent for casting amazing sci-fi actors before they became amazing sci-fi actors.
This time around, he's got Michelle, I think it's Michelle Monaghan.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, and then he's got Patrick Stewart in this movie, but really we got a lot of kid actors who are lesser known. Only one has any big connections, and that's our lead character, and that's our lead actor because he is the son of Andy Serkis.
I think his name is Lucas Serkis. I don't know. I don't know. I've been barely paying attention. This one is kind of it's kind of hard for us to do an episode on this because we haven't been like obsessing over this one. This is just kind of one that we thought, that looks good. It looks fun, cute. Honestly, I didn't even really want to go out and see this opening weekend until I started seeing reviews of it, and I started thinking about it a lot, and I just thought this might actually be a good enough movie that I want to go see it and support it.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot to it. I guess we can just talk about Arthurian legend. It's essential because this is the latest in a long update of Arthurian legend, which is a popular thing for Hollywood to go for because obviously it's in the public domain. They can do whatever the hell they want with it.
Yeah. But so there's been plenty of King Arthur myths. Last year, like 2 years ago, it's 2 years ago now, they had King Arthur, The Legend Begins, or that's what they called it originally, and then they had to change the name because
it's King
Legend of the Sword.
It was King Arthur, Legend of the Sword.
And it was the Guy Ritchie movie, but
nobody really liked that because it was just like, why didn't they use the giant snake in the first place, or the giant elf? We didn't see it.
I think the giant snake would be because he's probably going to do the giant snake, and Guy Ritchie's probably going to do the giant snake in his next movie.
It doesn't matter, though. It doesn't matter. There have been good King Arthurs, there have been bad King Arthur, good King Arthur adaptations, there have been bad King Arthur adaptations, with one of the best King Arthur adaptations, of course, being Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yes.
But we're not going deep into we're not going to go rambling on about how one of our favorite comedy movies is one of our favorite comedy movies, because that's just basically common knowledge to most people that one of the most quotable movies of all time is a King Arthur adaptation that's a parody of King Arthur adaptations.
And it's probably one of the best comedy movies ever written by one of the best comedy troupes of all time.
Now, let's get back into the actual movie. The Kid Who Would Be King is being called essentially Goonies for this generation, all kinds of stuff, Goonies, E.T., all that kind of stuff. I think it's good. Apparently not as good as Attack the Block, but once again, still haven't seen Attack the Block, so we're kind of going in blind to how good a director Joe Cornish is, how good this whole thing is going to turn out. But honestly, a guy who works with Edgar Wright, that's got to be fun somehow.
Yeah, the guy was good enough to write a Steven Spielberg movie with Edgar Wright, so. So, we know how good he is as a writer, but we don't know how good he is as a director. We're gonna find out. But this has been getting some pretty good reviews. Once again, main reason we're seeing this is just because I had a really rough day at work today, so I just really want to
just sit back and enjoy something today.
Yeah.
And I already did it with a few cartoons. It was in the like hour I was home, so we're just gonna go and enjoy a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watch cartoons at 25, almost 26. What of it?
Yeah, fuck you if you think we're childish because we watch cartoons.
Anyway, we've been going on for a long time on nothing about the movie, so we will see you after the chat.
Yep. Okay, so we just got out and
yeah, that was really good.
Really good. I mean, it's not great. I think I think it very much is a variable of the idea that we're not exactly, that's a little under our age range.
But it was that's a really good movie. It's solid, but it's got a lot of great parts to it that really come together in the end.
And this feels like something that what could be like with Toy Story was for us, which is some kid out there, this is their first favorite movie.
And that's magical.
Somewhere 20 years down the road, there's going to be some filmmaker out there who says, the kid who would be king was the movie that made me want to become a director.
And that's great. Joe Cornish really made something with this.
Every movie has that potential, but this one feels like it really does have that potential to create the next Steven Spielberg or the next Edgar Wright or the next Russo brothers or the next anything.
So let's get into that. Louis Ashbourne Circus, yes, finally remembered his name, is a great young lead. He's probably going to end up starring in one of his dad's movies one of these days, but for right now, he has shown that this is not the acting talent did not skip a generation. He's a very all the kid actors do great.
It is just so interesting that they have two name actors, Rebecca Ferguson and Patrick Stewart, and both of them combined probably only have about 15 minutes of screen time.
And so basically the movie is being carried by these 5 kids for the entire time. And it's a good thing that they're all good, because if they were all just like barely passable, then this would be a horrible movie to follow. I don't know what Joe Cornish did, but he might have taken notes from Tintin, because this is basically Spielberg level kid actors.
There's a lot of amazing camera shots and there's a lot of amazing moments. Obviously he's worked with having worked with 2 of the best directors working in Hollywood right now. He has taken a lot. There's very much Edgar Wright style stuff, like with certain camera movements, or the fact that almost everything comes back at some point or another in the film.
And there's very much certain things, like the opening shot of the movie, the opening live action shot of the movie is a oneer, basically showing the geography of the main character's house, and that's basically like, okay, you want to be Spielberg, and that is a very good Spielberg shot.
Yeah, and we just get all this amazing stuff. There's so much potential. I want Joe Cornish to do the Percy Jackson reboot, because this frickin' is the best audition tape for a Percy Jackson movie.
Basically, this is Joe Cornish's audition tape to essentially say, if you ever need a writer-director for a good fantasy movie, family fantasy movie, then I'm your man. Here's my audition.
Yeah.
And it's great that he is taking new pieces of the Arthurian mythos. Like, he's taking he is straight up taking whole sections of it and making them into a modern setting. And if you think that it's just kind of, this is only something that big King Arthur legend fans would know. No, they point it out in the movie, just straight up, like, oh, your name is Lance, your name is Kay, hey, your name is
your name is Betters.
Here's Lancelot K. Bedivere.
Yeah. Also, this movie is very British. It's one of those movies that could only be that truly exists, that could not be made without its Britishness, like Kingsman, or like with Kingsman, or with the Paddington movies,
or with James Bond, or anything like that,
or James Bond or Harry Potter. Just movies that would only be able to be made. Well, even with James, well, technically with like James Bond or Harry Potter, those movies could be American movies, but with this one, it has to be it had to be British, and it is very British.
Yeah, there's the occasional British slang, the occasional little bit. It's a kind of blink and you miss it, little British jokes thrown throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
But then again, that's just us ugly Americans talking about that.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to it, this movie is it's fun. It's the entire third act is this big, awesome kids fighting demons battle scene, and the entire time I'm like, okay, movie, you had my attention, and now you have my interest.
It was 12. It kind of makes me wish I was 12 years old so I could love this film more than I do.
But it's still a really great movie. The music is incredible. Well, music. By the way, music supervisor Nick Angel. Edgar Wright's usual music supervisor, who was also the namesake for the lead for Simon Pegg's character in Hot Fuzz. But this movie is fun. It's fresh. It's as original as it can be when you're basically taking on the same legend that Hollywood's been telling for decades.
Yeah.
It's a really good movie.
It's well made. That's probably the best thing you can say about it is it's well made, and it's entertaining. It's kind of not afraid to take risks for a family movie. Yeah.
There is this whole subplot about that's basically like The Last Jedi, in the sense of you don't need to be born great to be great, and so that's that's one of the big parts of the movie, and I think that's a great message to have. You don't need to be born into a certain lineage to prove yourself to be worthy of something. Now,
Joe Cornish stole that from The Last Jedi, we can't say. All we can say is Joe Cornish and Edgar Wright were in The Last Jedi, so they were there. They probably were talking to Rian Johnson, and somebody, not gonna name names, Joe, probably thought
was like, I should do a quick rewrite on my children's King Arthur movie. But The Kid Who Would Be King is good. It's really, really good. But I truly believe that this movie is going to be a favorite of children for years and years.
This movie's going to have a legacy. It's very and especially by the fact that it's timeless. They use
except for the whole fact that the setup is very much a very topical joke.
The setup is kind of a topical joke, but otherwise it's timeless. They don't there's not plot points depending entirely on cell phones or social media or.
It's not like that crappy Annie remake they put out a few years ago where it's like we need to put out the call to arms on Twitter.
No, we don't get that. We get something that this movie is very much something that could have just as easily been made in the 90s.
So, but here we are, 2019, and The Kid Who Would Be King may actually be the first great family movie of the year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's all we got to say about that. This movie that we did not intend to see or make a video on, and it's actually really good, and we just went to see it on a whim, and it's actually really good.
Yeah. So I think that's it, guys.
So we will be sure to like, favorite. Why did I say favorite? Favorite hasn't been. I stopped using favorite because favorite hasn't been a thing in forever.
Yeah.
Be sure to like, subscribe, comment below if you've seen The Kid Who Would Be King. What did you think of it? No spoilers in the comments, and be sure to tune in next time when everything definitely is awesome.